too deep, nor a gang too formidable to keep a son or daughter of Prince George's County from answering destiny's call. I can remember after the Great March on Washington in 1963, retreating to my basement and playing over and over again an album of the enthralling speeches until I knew the words of A. Philip Randolph and Martin Luther King Jr. by heart. I felt with every fiber the conviction that only a child could muster. In this county I was born. In this county I was raised. I was taught in schools that worked and raised in neighborhoods that cared. Here I was prepared to serve by our trusting people who elected me county executive of one of the greatest counties in all of America. And here I have labored to make sure that history would never write that I forgot where I came from, or my duty to our children and generations yet unborn. Tonight we meet in urgent and formidable times. People are suffering, homes are foreclosed, hope is flickering because Wall Street's greed is thought by some to be better than sacrifice and justice. This is a time for Prince George's County to nurture its people as it did me. Some of you weren't here when this odyssey began and are here by virtue of the grace of my neighbors, champions, and stalwarts who kicked open doors into which you would never have been admitted. I thank them for that and welcome you to this journey we all share. You know, some of our leaders don't get it. Like the captain of the Titanic, they're sailing smugly, disregarding serious warnings that icebergs are ahead. They casually disregard alarms in the belief that their ship is unsinkable. And you're on it. And in fact, you picked the captain. So, they tell you that Maryland schools are first in the nation. What they don't tell you is yours in Prince George's County and Baltimore City are 23rd and 24th in the state. What they don't tell you is that while our unemployment rate is better than in many states, the African American unemployment rate is double that of the marquee slogan that we hear. They don't tell you that our jails are full of your children and that there are reasons for that. They boast that joblessness in Maryland is better than anywhere. And now suddenly, they've remembered that jobs and small business are important, as though rampaging foreclosures, lack of business lending, anemic minority contracting, and fruitless job hunts hadn't been saying that for at least a couple of years now. They listened to their pollsters, not to their people, whose pleas have gone up in a swelling roar the whole time, and it took that to convince them. The tribulations of regular people only landed on their ears at the commencement of the election season. Well, I believe that insolvency is no excuse for indecency. Taking the votes of Prince Georgians and others and ignoring the debt owed to them is worse than indecent. It's an atrocity.
That's right.
For my part, a child of the 60s, I believe what Frederick Douglass said. The limits of tyrants are proscribed by the endurance of those whom they oppress. And power concedes nothing without a demand, never has and never will. I am deeply disturbed that the ability of this county to meet urgent needs is made more difficult by the fact that Prince George's County continues to be treated as a scorned stepchild of Maryland and Annapolis. In the view of some, we are good enough to be taxed and to give overwhelming votes to, but they get amnesia when it comes to supporting this county and ensuring an equitable distribution of opportunity. For far too many painful years, despite our achievements, our assets, our unswerving loyalty, our votes have been taken for granted and our support has been assumed. let us go forth tonight saying that we all agree that it is past time to exclaim to the media and to Annapolis that we will not embrace a second-class status, nor give our votes to state leaders whose only offering in these desperate times is a promise without performance, style without substance, quadrennial love, and smiles for elections, but disregard until the next one. Look around and see who isn't here. Every 4 years, they will return. Just a few more minutes, y'all, in the back there. I wish we had a sound system that could really blast you, but that would be cruel. That would be wrong. But if you give me just a minute, I swear I'm going to conclude. People return here every 4 years to harvest votes from bountiful fields that they didn't plow, didn't cultivate, and didn't fertilize. But in this room tonight, we see what makes Maryland great. Here standing together are people of every heritage, race, and orientation, gathering to say that every person of every age must be emboldened to believe what I learned in this county, that every person counts, that every person is too big to fail, and that every person deserves to have a party. You personify the enduring ideals that I have believed for a lifetime. You celebrate with me God's destiny that calls all of us in His name. Your presence, your generosity, and excitement are witness to the principle that we are all in it together. As some of you know, several years ago an aneurysm almost took my life, but God granted me healing and extension. In gratitude for this gift, I promise that I will continue to serve as long as I have breath to share my blessings, skills, and passions for justice and equality with other people. I got a tagline the other day from a sender relating a quote that said, "Because you have silenced a man does not mean you've changed him." Well, one thing we know, some of you told me tonight, is some things never change, and one of them is me. I intend to continue to speak up on behalf of this county and this state. I will not be silent. I will not disappear. I will not be bossed or scared to stand up for this county. I'll stand up for this state and for all the voiceless people whose frustration is not heard or whose tongues need to speak about their hopes and dreams. I don't know by what method or mode or with what timbre I will be called, but whatever form it takes, it'll be done for you. In thanks to God and in gratitude for your love and support, the words of the Massachusetts latest and greatest Senator Ted Kennedy are tonight adopted as my own. For all those whose cares have been our concern, the work goes on, the cause endures, the hope still lives, and the dream will never die. Thank you all. God bless you, and good night.